In a surprise twist, STR Cell comes home early, but who should you choose with your hard-earned red coins? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We are back for another Dokkan Battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the Dokkan Fest Banner and the returning units and determining who among them is worth your hard-earned red coins. After all, we have the return of some pretty decent units, along with the first return of the STR Cell. Now, this is quite a surprise, as he was the April Dokkan Fest and is typically scheduled for return in November. Him returning a month early almost guarantees that we are likely to either have Goku show up in October for the October Dokkan Fest, or we might get that special Halloween banner. Goku was supposed to be the returning unit for this campaign, so it's interesting that they chose to do that. We'll see what that means in the future, but for now, the concern is STR Cell. Is he worth your hard-earned red coins? Well, let's take a look here. So, he is Tournament Participants Worldwide Chaos, Category Key 3, HP 200%, Attack Defense 170%, and an additional Attack Defense 50% for androids or Accelerated Battle. On his Super Attack effect, he is greatly raising attack and defense for one turn, causes immense damage to the enemy, and has an entrance animation that he activates when there are tournament participant in category enemy or another tournament participant ally at the start of the character's attack turn. Gives him a high chance of throwing a critical hit once only for while that's active, and it's infinite once it procs. So it procs once and then it remains infinitely, right? And then he gets an additional super attack infinitely that procs once he gets the entrance animation. He also creates the domain once he appears for 5 turns. He gets key to attack defense 200%, damage reduction rate 20%, launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack. When there's not a tournament participants category enemy, he gets an additional 50% attack defense. When attacking with 12 or more key, he gets an additional 150% attack and defense. For every attack performed, he gets an additional 30% defense up to 150%. And when he is when he is KO'd, he revives with HP fully recovered. After the character or ally's revival skill is activated, he gets damage reduction rate 30% temporarily when receiving an attack. And after the character's revival skill has been activated, he guards all attacks and gets an additional damage reduction rate 15%. He does have an active skill that raises his key by 2 and gives him a 35% attack and defense boost for the rest of battle, and it can be activated when you are 70% or less, or starting from the 4th turn from his entry turn. His domain does give tournament participants and androids or android cell saga enemies and allies attack defense 15%. So a total of 30% for anybody on the 2 categories. So now the biggest thing with Cell is when he was released, he was he was very tough to run, right? You didn't want to run 2 of them because of the secondary revival effects, right? Where damage reduction rate 15% and guard is only applicable to the one that would revive. So if you were running 2 cells, the one that didn't revive could not activate this ability, and it caused a lot of problems because, like, even post super without his revive, he's kind of rough. He's one of those characters that you kind of want to play to his domain and to his revive, and so managing 2 of them was kind of rough. However, since his release, we've actually got some pretty major buffs to his teams that allow him to function, right? On tournament participants, right, we have things like the Pycons, both AGL and Fizz Pycon, right? We have things like, you know, STRTN. We have, most especially, where is he? The TUR, right? We have Int Hit, who actually Cell works pretty much better with Int Hit as his lead than other things, providing a domain for Int Hit's team. So he actually works pretty nicely there. He's also got some major buffs through Worldwide Chaos as well, through the Omega and through the Rose, and as well as a few other EZAs that have been supplanted on his team. So, you know, he's decent. Although he does clash with domains with Omega, he can still work pretty well on those teams without his without his domain, because since he is on power absorption, he does fit onto Omega's team, and he does receive the buff from him as well. So, you know, it's workable. He's not the best option, but he is an option. It does give, if you don't want to be running AGL Omega, it gives the team, Omega's team, a revive option, which is always nice to have, right? Or, I mean, Int Boo, I guess, is there too, but it does give him an option. So the question is he worth your coins given all of that? Because he is a very difficult unit to run, as I mentioned. So with that in mind, let's get the elephant out of the room, right? For 400 coins is not bad. And really, this is your chance, right, to pick characters like him up. Most of us are saving throughout the year, and right, we're skipping these TURs that release throughout the year because eventually we want to pick them up with coins, as they're probably not going to be any probably not going to return on any banners we tend to summon on, right? In fact, most people will tell you you should probably save your coins for the STR Blues or the Fizz Omega. Many of you guys have probably spent quite a bit of Dragonstones chasing these guys during the Global Dokkan campaign, or even, right, the Gogeta and Frieza from the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, right? So many of you guys probably were not able to summon for all of them, so you wouldn't want the same. The thing is, guys, things like Frieza, things like the Blues and Omega are going to return on major banners that you're going to summon on, right? These two... Omega and the Blues will return on 11th anniversary, which most of us will be summoning on. So there's a good chance you're probably going to pick him up then anyways. Same goes for the Frieza and Gogeta, usually reappearing on the Saiyan Day banner. Now they could shift that, but it's pretty likely that they're going to be either on the New Year's banners or the New Year's Step Up banner or the Saiyan Day banner, which means you're probably going to have a better shot of getting them then. And even then, right, him returning after anniversary means you're pretty likely going to have coins for him at that point as well. The only one that's sort of in limbo is the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, but they're also highly limited. Like, you need the hybrids in your team to run them anyways. So, you know, they are probably not as priority as flex units like these guys, who are just great leaders all around for some of the best teams. So I will say, if you don't have them, then maybe might consider saving them, but also consider that you're probably summoning on the next banner that they return on, and you're gonna have a pretty good chance of picking them up. Whereas TURs like Cell here, or like Int Hit, or like Tao, or Kid Goku especially, you're probably not resummoning on their banners, right? Kid Goku is probably going to return on the October 30th banner, right? The Halloween banner, which is probably going to be its own special banner that you're probably not going to summon on. This is what your coins are for characters like this. Now, I will say, if we're talking TURs, I would prioritize saving your coins for Kid Goku over Cell, but Cell is not a bad option to pick up at the moment. Especially because he is on quite a few, he's gotten quite a few teams that he can slide right into and provide either a domain to that team if it doesn't clash with another, or at least provide the team with a revive that it didn't previously have. So, all in all, I would say if you're saving for TURs, then your go-to for now is Goku, followed by Tao, and then Cell. So nobody else really on the baby banner is really worth your coins, except maybe AGL Vegeta if you haven't beaten Festival Battles yet. He's probably a good option. Tech Cell is worth 200 coins, and if you didn't pick him up with your GDC memorial coins or your red stones, then he's a decent option, especially if they ever return Million Arena. He will be probably a good option for that, as he was in the first round. So, you know, there is that. So, guys, that is it for the video. That is my recommendation on whether or not you should pick up Cell. If you're not missing Goku and you're not missing Tao, then he is a decent option for your 400 coins. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know Will you be grabbing Cell, or are you saving for another TUR? Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.